So this day in history, December 25th. Oh, by the way, also, I guess Merry Christmas for anyone who's reading this or listening to this.
Listening to this on the day.
Yeah, on the day. Enjoy your presents. But in this day in history, 32 years ago, December 25th, 1985, Generation 1 gave everyone a present, I guess. If you were, you opened up your, let's see, if it was December 25th, 1985, you opened up your presents, you got your Omega Supreme in that big box, or your Jetfire, playing with your toys, your 85 Autobot cars, or Blaster. You're messing with them, and then you turn on the TV, and there was the very famous and important episode to all of Transformer history made its debut 32 years ago on this date. War Dawn. Now, what was War Dawn? War Dawn was the season 2 episode that pretty much gave us the history of Optimus Prime and his origin that would be pretty much used or modified moving forward for that character from that point on. It was pretty much the story of the aerial bots accidentally getting slung back in time to the days before the Great War and meeting this young dock worker by the name of Orion Pax and his girlfriend Ariel and his best friend Dion, and their hero worship of these Decepticons that could fly and Megatron and stuff like that, and just the story of those characters. Megatron, what a surprise, being a traitor, killing those characters, and then them being rebuilt, at least in this case Optimus Prime being rebuilt by Alpha Trion into the character we know today. And little things that happened in this episode became key points moving forward for Transformers forever. Number one, the first thing of it all is Orion Pax. The idea of Optimus Prime, before being Optimus Prime, being a character with a different name completely, creating that idea first of all, that that Transformers have other names, sometimes. So he was Orion Pax, didn't have the body that he had originally, didn't have the mouthpiece, he wasn't this tough guy, had a different voice actor. It wasn't Peter Cullen's voice. Actually, who was his voice actor? That's a good question. I have to look that up. But it was a lot more simpler character, and that concept of having Optimus Prime be Orion Pax was something that would resonate through all of Transformers from that point on, where Optimus Prime, before he was Optimus Prime, before he got the Matrix, and different continuities and stuff, always was referred to as Orion or Orion Pax. The only exception to that rule was the Dreamwave continuity at one point wanted to call him Optronics, and it was used in War Within.
Right.
And at one point with the Fall of Cybertron and War for Cybertron games, they were essentially calling him just Optimus, and when he became a Prime, it was Optimus Prime. And then, of course, they then went back with the novels and called him Orion Pax afterwards. So,
yeah.
But the point is that idea of making a pre-Optimus Prime Orion Pax resonated. And what was interesting about that was even the design of Orion Pax that we have wasn't even meant to be Orion Pax. Fleur O'Deary, the guy who was in charge of designing all the Sunbow G1 Transformer characters, he had a design for a character named Ultra Magnus. And this is just like separate that from what you know of the character of G1. That design for Ultra Magnus was the Orion Pax design. And it was just one of his many designs and sketches. And then ultimately in the end, he gave that design to what would be Orion Pax today. And it's so fascinating how much everything else then domino effects from that, because after the end of the more or less at the end of the episode, you have Alpha Trion, who rebuilt Optimus Prime. He's going, oh, maybe I should rebuild the other guys, and then that makes that huge suggestion. It's never 100% confirmed, but we all agree, and there's that Ariel became Elita-One. Because if that's Optimus's girlfriend, she's also pink. She also gets busted up. So if here's one character, has one name, gets rebuilt, and then has a new name and a new body, what's to say that Ariel got rebuilt, new name, now she's Elita-One.
Yeah.
So it created that idea. And then that idea led to then people having the speculation, well, who is Dion then? Did Dion become Ironhide? Did Dion become Ultra Magnus? Did Dion, the official statement was Dion became a better Dion. And he with Dion, you had the Wings of Honor comic book and the whole continuity the Wings continuity that Bakon created. And Dion was the same thing. He was a character that, maybe he's Ultra Magnus, maybe he's not. At least it kind of put to bed the speculation that he's Ultra Magnus. But it's again, and this all spawned from War Dawn, and Dion would end up getting toys and repaints and stuff like that, all from this episode. And I feel also it kind of led to later on the idea of Hot Rod and Rodimus, maybe, in the sense that same thing. You have one form, and when you became a leader, it's a new form and a new name.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's different from your old form. So there was a lot of things that came out of this episode that just became staples of Transformers permanently. And I mean, that being said, there's a few other things with this episode that I want to get into, and it's the more controversial stuff, which was when Transformers was canceled in some areas of the world, specifically even Canada at one point, being cited as being too violent. This episode specifically was always brought up because there was a scene where Megatron literally just lays into a whole bunch of characters and kills them in a very Transformers the movie kind of gruesome style. And even when Optimus Prime shows up, he's rebuilt. He's now Optimus Prime from Orion Pax. And when this happens, he shows up and then he takes out the Decepticons in just a brutally fashion. Where it's just it's Optimus Prime, bam, 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 and just starts taking out people. So it got to a point that this episode even got known for that. It's very, very, very interesting, all of this. And David Wise, who was the original writer of this episode, had no idea that a lot of this stuff that he was writing would later on be used for extended lore. When he created the character of Ariel, he had no idea the connection to Elita-One that would create. Total coincidence, actually. When he created Dion, same thing. No idea that people would make that speculation that it was Ultra Magnus or Ironhide, and how that would lead to lore down the line playing at that. So, very important episode. Again, I heavily suggest people go back and watch it. Those are, again, when I bring up episodes in our this day in history kind of stuff, these are episodes that I always feel, if you don't enjoy Generation 1 because it's dated, or you don't like the animation or the voice acting, whatever that may be, or you just don't like Generation 1, I still say go back and watch these key episodes, because it really gives you an idea of the early concepts that then move forward, that then get used today. And I mean, War Dawn today affects the toys that we have coming into 2018. Look at our Optimus Prime with Power of the Primes.
Exactly.
That's our War Dawn. That's our War Dawn Alpha Trion, Orion Pax. So we're going to see more of that. But again, 32 years ago, December 25th, Christmas, we had War Dawn, and it changed a large part of the origin of Optimus Prime.